Yeah, what's happening? What's shaking? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to another video, another vlog. I realize it's been an extremely long time, but look, we are here with another one. You know what I'm saying? By the time that y'all check this video out, it will be at the top of 2026. So I want to just say Happy New Year's, and welcome to another one, you feel me? So look, I've had visions of doing and putting this project together for an extremely long time, right? So for this particular project and this particular vlog, I decided that I wanted to go somewhere to where it's extremely cold and it's snow everywhere and it's beautiful landscapes and mountains and, you know, all the things. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to Norway. So look, you already know we gotta go ahead and get the official business out the way up front. If y'all could go ahead and hit them notification bells, hit that little bell, so this way you are always tracking when another Gizinternational video is dropping and you can catch that thing as soon as it's happening, you know what I'm saying? If y'all could, go ahead and subscribe to your boy's channel. All you gotta do is hop on YouTube and the space bar, type in G_IZ_International. You'll find me right there. Go ahead and subscribe to that thing. And also, if you could, go ahead and hop on Instagram and follow your boy at the same name, at Gizinternational. You heard? Again, I just want to say thank y'all for, you know, investing your valuable time and, you know, taking time to check out another adventure, another video, another vlog. You know, it really took a lot out of me, you know, a lot of self-work to, you know, be comfortable to even get back in this space, to get back in front of a camera and, you know, provide y'all another video and vlog, you know what I'm saying? So for giving me some of your time, I just want to say I truly appreciate it. So I have just landed at the Oslo airport. Now the Oslo airport is the main international airport out here in Norway, and of course I am in Oslo as we speak, which serves as Norway's main capital. Now let me tell y'all something, child. When I was flying in, you could see, you know, snow-covered mountains and frozen lakes and just snow everywhere, y'all. Snow everywhere. I'm currently located out here at the Thon Opera Hotel out here in Oslo, and this place will serve as the home base, you know, for our upcoming adventure. Now, this hotel, it's a very nice hotel. It's a 4-star hotel, and it's literally located out here in central Oslo. But I think what's super cool for a lot of travelers is that you could literally take the train from the airport literally to central Oslo station, and it is literally within like a 5-minute walking distance. By the time you even leave the train station, you can see the hotel sitting right there. So this hotel, it has all your basic necessities, right? There's a bar, there's a restaurant, you know, there's kind people working at the front desk, you know what I'm saying? Everything that you could possibly think of needing is literally right here at this hotel. So let's go ahead and check this thing out, you feel me? let's get into some fun and interesting facts about Norway. So, Norway is located in Northern Europe, and it occupies the western half of the Scandinavian peninsula. Now, what is a peninsula? In the most simplest terms, a peninsula is nothing more than a piece of land that is surrounded by water on all sides. So, because Norway occupies the western half of the Scandinavian peninsula, when you look at it on the map, its partner in crime is Sweden occupying the other half of that Scandinavian peninsula. Some of those bodies of water surrounding it include the Baltic Sea, the North Sea, as well as the Arctic Ocean. It's also identified as being part of the Nordic countries, which are a group of other Northern European countries. Those happen to be Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, and Finland. Norway is considered one of the safest places in the world to live, also as well as travel, visit, and adventure to. If you love wildlife, Norway is one of 5 countries that you can come out here and actually see polar bears in their natural habitat. Those other countries being Russia, Canada, Denmark/Greenland, and the United States/Alaska. Norway is also one of the best places on the earth to come witness the natural phenomenon of the Aurora Borealis, aka the Northern Lights. Norway is also home to a lot of beautiful natural landscapes. I'm talking about towering mountains, snow everywhere, frozen bodies of water, fjords. Norway is home to all of that. It's also home of Norse mythology. It is famous for being the homeland of the world-renowned Vikings. And you know what? I wanted to go out of my way to see some of these natural beauties and these natural landscapes, some of these mountains, and just, you know, connect with nature. And I really wanted to go to the home of where the Vikings were from, and, you know, really learn as much authentic information that I absolutely positively can. So with this vlog, I hope y'all enjoy the adventure. What I'm finna do, the hotel, they provided me with some champagne. You know what I'm saying? They provided your boy with some champagne. I am going to open this thing. We are here in Norway. I'm gonna pour it in my cup. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pour a little bit in my cup. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go get me something to eat. And tomorrow, we gonna get this adventure going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Norway in a nutshell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good morning. So we are at one of our very first locations out here on this grand Norwegian adventure that we on, you know what I'm saying? Our first stop actually brings us in the chase and hunt for some Viking lore and some Viking history, and that puts us right in front of this building right here behind me, which is the Oslo Historical Museum. Now, this museum in particular apparently houses many different exhibitions, many different sections, but obviously it's only one that I'm particularly very interested in and want to go see, and that exhibition is called the Viking Age exhibition. So I ain't gonna talk too much. Let's go ahead and get inside and check this thing out. You feel me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back outside the museum after having explored that thing, you feel me? Yo, I'll say that was pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? That was your typical textbook museum experience, right? Very quiet, students all over the place, artifacts all over the place, very typical museum shenanigans. Like I said, there were many different exhibitions up there. They had exhibitions, you know, ranging from things like the Stone Age, religion, Middle Age and medieval times, and then, you know, obviously, like I said, the big one that I wanted to see was the Viking Age exhibition. Now, when it comes to that particular exhibition, right, again, it was very small. You could probably check that thing out maybe in like 20-30 minutes. Very, very small, you know what I'm saying? They did have artifacts that were found, you know, in Norway's region, you know, primarily from a lot of grave sites, artifacts found within grave sites like helmets, swords, and things of that. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. Again, it was very, in my opinion, limited, you know what I'm saying? And it was very quick, you know, it wasn't really too interactive, but, you know, it was pretty cool just to kind of, you know, see some of those artifacts, you know, see some of these things that came from, you know, these grave sites around, you know, Norway's region and whatnot. So pretty cool, you know, it did what it needed to do, you feel what I'm saying? So with all that said, let's keep this thing pushing. Okay, y'all, so our next destination brings us to another really dope museum. Now, this museum is called the Viking Planet. And I think what's super special about this particular museum is that everything is digital, you know what I'm saying? It's not like your prototypical museums where, you know, they got exhibitions and actual like artifacts for you to, you know, put your hands on and look at. Everything is digital. It's supposed to be this really interactive experience that recreates a lot of things for you to actually kind of immerse yourself within the museum. So I'm absolutely excited. Let's get inside. Let's go check this thing out. Let's go. Alright, yo, we are back outside. Fam, I must say, that was absolutely fire. That has to be at least one of the top 5, top 3 museums that I've ever been in. You know, the whole digital and immersive thing was absolutely real, and I absolutely loved it. Yo, they had a lot of stuff that was VR, where you put like the headset on and you are literally immersed in what they're trying to show you and what they're bringing to you. There was this one to where they was like telling the story, and you know, you were on this Viking longship and you was going into a raid and arrows was coming at you, and I'm sure I looked crazy because I was in there tweaking, on top of the fact I've never really done no like VR crazy stuff before. I mean, it was off the wall. It was off the wall. The videos that they were showing was fire. You know, I mean, everything was just top notch. I've literally never been to a museum like that, and I mean, that was
as I've said numerous times, plenty of times in a lot of vlogs, right? Fire, nothing left to really describe. Now, while the Viking Planet is a pretty cool, very dope museum, very popular out here in Oslo, there is another museum that I definitely would have liked to go check out, the Viking Ship Exhibition and Museum. Apparently it's closed and won't be open till 2027, but fortunately within the Viking Planet, again, because everything is an immersive digital experience, right, they do have video 3D simulators for you to actually check out that museum within the Viking Planet. But yo, if you are in the Oslo area, if you are on the hunt for Viking history, please go check out the Viking Planet. Let's keep this thing pushing. All right, what's shaking, everybody? So look, up to this point we have been on a serious hunt for some Viking history, some, Viking lore. We visited a few museums, but I think it's time to take a break from that activity and start moving around a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, starting today, we're actually leaving Oslo and we're going to be heading to that train station right there, Oslo Central train station, and that will serve as our first stop along this journey. We're going to be taking the Bergen Railway, and it's going to be a 4.5 hour all the way to this place called Myrdal. Now, the dope thing about this train ride, right, it's world-renowned train ride, right? It's supposed to take you through the deepest parts of Norway, Southern Norway, taking you through the mountains and all types of things. And me personally, I'm extremely excited. One, never been on a train that long. Two, it's supposed to be snow and all types of stuff all over the place. So I'm just extremely excited. So come join your boy for the ride. Let's get to it. All right, 4.5 hours to 5 hour train ride from Oslo Central Station. We have found our way at our second stop along this journey, and that is here at the mountain rail station, Myrdal. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The only reason that we are here is just to change trains. We're changing from Bergen Railway Station to the flam station. Now, child, I must say, this ride has been pretty amazing so far. But as y'all can see, it went from greenery and color all over the place to it just being white to just snow and more snow and so much snow that you literally cannot see nothing outside. Child, when I went to go change trains, it was all the snow was all blowing in my face and everything was wet. It was absolutely crazy. But it's all worth it. We're here. We're gonna keep it pushing. So let's do this. Okay, so after another hour-long voyage on the Flam Railway, we've made it to our next destination as well as our next home base. Ladies and gentlemen, we are directly located within the Fjords and in a small village named Flam. I mean, yo, look, yo, do y'all, yo. Fam, you literally feel like this small out here, yo. This small, fam. All right, so check. I feel like I done said the name fjord so many times when talking about, you know, these beautiful landscapes and mountains and all this stuff that I haven't actually quite taken the time to actually tell y'all what a fjord is. In short, a fjord is nothing more than a long, narrow body of water that's cut in two, surrounded by two steep mountains on both sides with a calm waterway running straight through the middle. That is all a fjord is. When you think of the letter U in the small curved part, that's the water. It's generally, like I said, a lot more narrow than wide, and you just have a calm stream of water flowing right through, and the steep mountains is what surrounds that fjord. Now, they're formed when these large masses of ice, also called glaciers, they're carved out in the middle of these mountains, create valleys, and a natural phenomenon occurs that when that ice melts, that is what create that calm, gentle water running through those mountains. You can see behind me, this is a fjord. You can tell two mountains on two tall mountains on both sides, a nice calm waterway running right through. So I just hope that makes it a little bit more understandable when I talk about us being inside the fjord. I talk about the small village of Flam being located inside the fjord and the greater Fjord, you heard?
All right, y'all. So, like I said, we are out here in Flam, and I'm actually sitting inside my hotel that's serving as our home base for while we're here. The name of the hotel is called the Pt.1 Hotel, and yo, this thing is old, but it's been modernized. This hotel has been serving tourists, guests, other explorers and adventurers since around the 19th century. This place has its own restaurant, its own bar. So while we're here, come check out the room with me. Come on. All right, y'all, so that was the room, and I'm hoping that y'all feeling it. So one of the first few things that I noticed about this small village is that, yo, it's extremely small. You know, you could probably walk this entire village in an easy 15 to 30 minutes. I mean, it is extremely small. You know, there is houses out here. It does look like people live out here, but like in this small little thing, it's literally only like a 30-minute walk. The second thing that I obviously noticed is that you are surrounded by mountains. Like, you are in the Fjord. You know, if you look at a map and see where you're at, you are literally within the fjord and within the mountains, and from every vantage point, anywhere you stand, you will see that you are absolutely surrounded by mountains. Flam in itself is literally located right next to the water, so you can literally walk up to the pier, walk up to the edge of the land, and just look and gaze at the fjord and the mountains right in front of you. I mean, it's very majestic. It's very cool. Another thing that I noticed real quick is that just like the last hotel we was in, it's literally walking distance from the train station, literally only about a 2-minute walk. So, you know, that's definitely something that you don't have to worry about. Because this is a small village, understand that there aren't a lot of hotels out here at all. The Pt.1 Hotel that I'm staying at, it has the largest capacity of rooms, but there aren't many hotels out here. So, if you're planning to come out here, make sure that, you book in timely advance, or specifically look for the Freedom Hotel. There's only 2 restaurants out here. There's only 2 places to eat, and they open up at a certain time. Because we are within the fjord, we are alongside a lot of mountains. There is a lot of activities to do. You can do a lot of hiking, you know what I'm saying? You could do a lot of kayaking. There's a lot of boating activities. There's a lot of activities here to keep you going, and just things to keep you occupied. So with all that said, child, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. Once again, I'm going to go get me something to eat, get a little rest, and we're gonna keep this thing pushing, you heard? All right, good morning. Welcome back everyone. Yo, today we are finna get into some shenanigans. We are finna take a small boat, more specifically a rib boat. That boat right there. We're finna take that boat and we are finna get real low, and we are finna ride deep within the fjord, you know what I'm saying? We're finna ride through the Fjord as well as world famous Naeroyfjord. So just some quick context information, right? The Fjord is actually a branch of a way bigger fjord out here. It's actually part of the Sognefjord, which is actually the longest and deepest fjord that is located out here in Norway. Now, the other fjord that I spoke of, the Naeroyfjord, is also a branch of that longer Sognefjord. You feel what I'm saying? And it's actually classified as a World UNESCO Heritage Site. It could be said that for a lot of people, the Naeroyfjord is one of the most famous fjords in Norway, and also provides some of the best scenic views when within inside that fjord. Now that you got that piece of information, I'm gonna get in that boat and we gonna get to it. You heard? Let's get it cracking. I'm super excited. Let's do this. You feel me? What's happening, everybody? So look, we just made our stop out here in this small village called Unforgettable off of this little rib boat. Man, I must say, I really just had to take a second just to stop and talk to y'all. Yo, the experience of being on that rib boat and riding through the fjords, man, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that thing has been absolutely fire, yo. I can't even really like put that thing into words. It's real. I mean, it is. I mean, it's fire, yo. It's fire. Like, the water's mad calm. There was parts, where you had, waves splashing all in your face, but for the most part, it was just dope, just to be able to ride on the calm water and just see these towering mountains. Just, I mean, them things was tall. I think the guide said that one of them is like 2 or something, like Eiffel Towers tall. I mean, it's super dope, seeing the snow capped on these mountains. I mean, and I think it's super dope also to think that there are still people, living on these fjords. As you're riding through, you can see villages and all that type of stuff. I mean, it's super dope. Actually, this town that we stopped at, well, this village that we stopped at, like I said, it's called Unforgettable. And this place and the background, I don't know if y'all can see, like back there, was that this was the inspiration for the home of Anya and Elsa, the movie Frozen. And if that's the case, that's pretty cool. I mean, yo, look at that. That is, it's pretty doggone fire. We're gonna keep it pushing.
Okay, we are officially back from riding through the Fjord. Yo, that was fire. I cannot lie. It was so fire, fam. You felt this small riding alongside those mountains. Things were huge, and you were just so low. And I think it was super dope to kind of have that perspective of riding. You know what I'm saying, through the fjord. And I think it was just dope just to, as you move throughout the fjord and you take different turns, seeing the mountains, different perspectives. I mean, it was absolutely fire, yo. Like it was. There's nothing left to say. That thing was fire, you feel me? I thoroughly had a good time, and I would for sure do that thing again. I would definitely recommend, if you're ever in this region of Norway, or if you get to do that period, ride through a fjord and get real low and just have some perspective, I would definitely recommend it, you feel me? Let's move on.
All right, y'all, so we're gonna keep this thing pushing, and we are getting ready to get into some more shenanigans. Now, I absolutely wish I could have did a lot of this talking outside and where I'm gonna be at, but it has unfortunately been raining, and it has been coming down. And so for obvious reasons, I don't want to get my camera and my equipment wet. So I figured I'd just talk to you from here and just kind of let y'all know what's going on. So today's shenanigan, I figured it'd be even cooler to now go up as high as we can get to get some of these same views. So what we are going to do, we are going hiking. We're gonna go climb one of these mountains, and I'm extremely nervous because, like I said, it's been raining outside, which just kind of makes me feel like, how is this finna happen? Hiking when it's raining, when snow is coming down, it's still ice. Like, there's a lot of things that kind of got me nervous, on top of the fact this is my first time really going to hike a tall mountain like this. But I'm super excited to go, get some views and perspectives of the fjords and these mountains from up top. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, y'all, so we are back and have officially completed that hike. Yo, let me say, that was extremely exciting and super fun, and I definitely enjoyed it. Me personally, I do a lot of walking, so I ain't gonna lie that within like the first 2 minutes of that hike, you know what I'm saying, that my breath was, I was kind of breathing a little hard, you know what I'm saying, but it was well worth it, because after we got going, your body kind of adjusts, and it was easy peasy. Again, I was a little bit worried because even though from the bottom you couldn't really see all the snow and ice, there was still for sure snow and ice on the mountain that we had to walk through. And I was kind of a little skeptical about walking on the ice, wondering like, man, hope I don't slip and die. You know what I'm saying? But overall, it was pretty cool. It was pretty easy. It was pretty relaxing. And then, just having the idea, to be able to contrast the two, seeing the fjord and the mountains from, very low to then going very high. It was definitely a sight to behold. Again, unfortunately, it was raining outside, so there was a lot of fog in the air. It was very cloudy, so you probably couldn't see it as clear as you wanted, but you could see enough for it to be very breathtaking, you know what I'm saying. I definitely think one of the highlights of the hike was stopping at this viewpoint called the Stegestan viewpoint. And what it is it's like a wooden bridge or something that was built by some architects, to where this bridge extends over the mountain, and crazy enough, you are walking all over the cliff
of that mountain, and the only thing that's holding you up is that little bridge. I'm not gonna lie, when I first, walked on that bridge, it was absolutely terrifying. I feel like even one point I felt it shake, and I was just like, Lord, no, I can't do this. But after a while, you kind of got accustomed to it, and you realize that people come see this thing all the time and nothing has ever happened, so you kind of get a little bit more calm. But it was absolutely amazing, and from that point, you get to see a real personal up high view, of the mountains and the fjords. Again, in my case, like I said, it was still raining. It never really cleared up, so it was still very cloudy and foggy, so you couldn't see as clear as you want, but it was good enough for you to be able to at least get a really cool and good sighting of the mountains. The Stegestan viewpoint does sit at 650 meters in the air, which is about equivalent to 2130 feet in the air. I don't know what's going on with me. I just have this fascination of getting high and getting on these mountains and seeing how high I can get. I've done it in Greece, I've done it in Tanzania now, and now I'm just out here child climbing mountains in Norway. I don't know, man. I went from being Nat Geo-G to child, I'm finna be mountain climber G up in a second. You feel what I'm saying? But if it was up to me, I would definitely recommend that you try and see it from both perspectives, you heard? Let's keep this thing pushing.
All right, y'all. So generally when I do these vlogs, I like to, take time to try and incorporate, food, tasting some of the local food. And that's exactly what I'm here to do. Right now, I'm at this place called the Ægir Brew and Pub. So this restaurant is located out here in Flam, and it's a very unique place, right? Because it has this Viking inspired kind of ambiance, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so what y'all see sitting right here in front of me is the main dish of the night. Now, this is called a Viking plank, and this is a real traditional Norwegian dish out here. There is 5 different dishes, and there are 5 different beers to go along with it. So, hope y'all don't mind me. I'm finna get busy, you heard? Done. Absolutely done. Done. Yo, as you can see, bruh, tore this dish up. I mean, this thing was hitting. I'd like to say the soup, by far the best. One thing that has been consistent since I've been out in this country is, yo, Norwegians make some really, really good soup, yo. They make some fire soup out of all this, the meats, all this. The soup was by far my favorite. You feel me? All right, fam, so check it. Look, we done had 5 different dishes. We done had 5 beers. I got me 1 more to go. This is their most popular that they got here. And look, I'm full, done drank good, I'm feeling good. It is time to lay it down. Yo, I'm gonna take it to the crib and we're gonna keep it moving, you heard? Let's go.
Shaking, everybody. So look, Obviously, yesterday I was pretty tight. It was raining all over the place. Everything was cloudy. Hiked the mountain, couldn't really see what I wanted to see. So today, you know, I just thought it'd be cool to kind of get back on the water, take a nice little cruise, not the rear boat, but just a bigger boat, a nice little cruise, and just sail along the fjord. So yeah, that's all we're getting into. We just cruising through the fjord, you feel me? Alright y'all, so we just got done taking our cruise through the Naeroyfjord one more again, you know what I'm saying? You know, we was on that big old white electric boat, and you know, it was cool just to ride, you know, real calm on the water. At the end of the Naeroyfjord is this real small village named Gizinternational. Not only could it be argued that this was the home for Vikings and, you know, a place that they settled for long periods of time, what this place has for sure become is a place that a lot of people come to explore as they're passing through the Naeroyfjord. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to our next destination. We are out here in Gizinternational, but more specifically, the small Viking village of Naeroyfjord. Now, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm extremely excited, you know what I'm saying? We've been able to dive into, you know, some Viking stuff, you know, via museums and stuff like that, but you know, I am super excited to be at this place. Why? Because this is an open air village slash museum where they have recreated what life was actually like living in an actual Viking town, you know. It's not really about, you know, them being outside and raiding and doing all that cool stuff. It's about what normal Viking life was in a very small village. So I'm absolutely excited. I'm actually standing right outside the entrance to the village. So, you know, I ain't gonna keep talking too much. I'm ready to get inside that thing. Let's go see what's happening inside there, you dig? All right, y'all, so we're back outside. We just finished up, you know, just walking through the village and exploring that village. Yo, that was fire. There's nothing left to say. That was fire, yo. That was absolutely fire. Just to, you know, to be able to walk through the village and talk with the people inside and, you know, see real life artifacts, you know, see weaponry, see how, you know, how they put clothes on their back, you know, some of the food that they would eat, you know what I'm saying? Seeing the longhouse, you know, that their chieftain stayed in. I mean, yo, it was phenomenal, fam. I even got to throw an axe. I even got to throw an axe. Yo, that was top tier, fam. That was top tier. I mean, if you couldn't tell, if you in the area, fam, I would definitely recommend, you know, coming to check this thing out, because this is, whew. And fam, this village is surrounded by mountains. Yo, I mean, fam, look at this. Look, how can I look at this? Fam. Look at this. Yeah. Nothing else really needs to be said. If you're in the area, come check it out. You feel me? Come check it out. All right, y'all. So like I said earlier, we are no longer in Flam and we are for sure in Gudvangen. Now, due to the change, obviously accommodations had to change as well, right? So I am staying at a place called the Gudvangen Fjordtel. Now, I ain't even gonna lie to you. By far, this is probably my favorite place that I've stayed throughout this journey and adventure. Now, this hotel, it's a very small hotel and it's located right on the waterfront. Child, it's fire. It's absolute fire. Matter of fact, let's just go check this thing out. You heard? Alright, y'all, so I'm hoping that y'all was feeling the room like how absolutely I am in love with the room. I absolutely adore the whole Viking theme and Viking style that they did to this particular room. So since we did a little bit of moving around, you know what I'm saying, we got to explore some things, see some things today. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know how this go. I got to go get me something to eat, recharge these batteries a little bit, and we gonna get back to it, you heard? Alright, y'all, welcome back. So we've officially left Gudvangen and we are back on another big old electric boat, and we are back on the water, and child, we ain't doing nothing but cruising through the mountains, catching the vibe and cruising through the fjords, you know what I'm saying? Specifically, we are back in the Sognefjord. The Sognefjord has many branches. The two that we cruised through was the Fjord and the Naeroyfjord. But now we're just kind of riding through the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Well, the Sognefjord is considered to be the king of the fjords because of how long and deep this fjord is. It's said that this fjord stretches over 200 kilometers, which is equivalent to over about 120 miles, you know what I'm saying? So that's about it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna cruise, you know what I'm saying? We gonna catch a vibe. I know y'all see the mountains in behind me, you know what I'm saying? And we just gonna chill and, you know what I'm saying, just take in, you know, the beauty of the area, you feel me? Let's get to it.
drive. I hope y'all been enjoying the scenery, been enjoying this nice little cruise throughout the Sognefjord that we're currently on. With all that being said, I just hope that y'all have enjoyed this entire adventure. I know it's been a little lengthy, but you know, I hope you made it through and, you know what I'm saying, enjoyed it as much as, you know what I'm saying, I enjoyed it in real time, and as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. I hope that it inspires you or helps you create, you know what I'm saying, ideas, you know, for your next vacation, your next time you want to get out of where you from and come see something different. You know, I hope this video can help be the driving force behind that. Again, I just want to say thank y'all, you know, for taking the time to check out this extremely lengthy vlog, you know what I'm saying. I do want to take the time to apologize for some of the audio. There was a whole lot of bad, unforeseen weather. It was raining all over the place. The wind was just throwing me all over the place. So if the audio, as I've explained earlier, you know, is kind of janky or, you know, sounds weird, just trust and believe it. Trust and believe I tried to do everything in my power to make sure that, you know, it wasn't what it was, but child, that wind was not playing no games. So for me too, I just want to again apologize, you know, for the bad audio. Yo, with all that said, since we are at the end, if y'all could go ahead and hit that notification bell. This way, when any more videos is dropping, you can catch them things as they're happening. If y'all could go ahead and hop on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, hit that search bar, type in G_IZ_International, subscribe to the boys YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying, all those things definitely help. And if you could go ahead and hop on Instagram, follow your boy at the same name, at Gizinternational. Again, I just want to say thank y'all for the time, your patience, and for following along this long journey. And yeah, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate y'all. Yo, until then, this is Mr. G is International, and I will see y'all next time. G out.